Pretty Timmy and T, yeah, we raising the bar. Every sip's an adventure, we shooting for stars. Cut those wheels, take the scene, now we gliding in style. From the vineyards to the lounge, we redefining the mile. 4092 the base where the legends reside. Mixing vibes, not just drinks, it's the culture we provide. Tuesday libations, Wednesday we scrutinize. Catch the flavor, feel the energy, we on the rise. Let's have a toast for the real ones. Let's have a toast for the real. Let's have a toast for the real ones. Let's have a toast for the real. Let's have a toast for the real ones. Let's have a toast for the real. Let's have a toast for the real. Yeah. Have a toast for the real ones. Have a toast for the real.
Welcome in, everybody, to another edition of Veterans Active Duty Bar. I am Master Sergeant retired, 30-year veteran Timothy L. Johnson, and my co-host
Juan G, liquor connoisseur.
Welcome in, everybody. I hope everybody's having a wonderful Friday. Hey, this is the deal right here. Living your best life, enjoying life, that's what we all about. We out here to promote great times, and we about to give some flowers to some veterans today. Maybe it might be yours. But
it might be yours.
Or it could be mine. But also, I want everybody to do one thing for us. This is what I'm going to do. Even though we are streaming this on Facebook, Instagram, a couple other platforms, I would like for you to swing back, click on the link, and go to YouTube, subscribe, like, share the content out, help the channel out, help us reach out to more veterans, because this is something that I feel good about in my heart, about giving back. I did 30 years, so that should tell you everything you need to know about me.
Yeah.
Get them to me.
No, 100%. You know, anytime we have an opportunity to give back, let's do it. And this is our way of doing it.
Yes, you know what I'm saying? We want to give these flowers because I've always said we never got the recognition, or we don't get the recognition that we should get. On this channel, what we're trying to do is give back to these veterans. Give them their flowers. If you know somebody that may have passed on, somebody that's still here, and somebody who you feel don't get their flowers, well, they can get their flowers today. Because guess what? We're going to make them famous. Because once we shout it out here, this here forever. You know what I'm saying? What you put out there on social media, it ain't going away. You can't delete it. So once we call their name out, their name is forever. And for whoever review or go over, watch the content, whether it's live or recorded, they're going to hear that person's name. In the back of their mind, they're going to be like, who did he say? Did he say William Johnson? Yeah, I know William Johnson. You know, that name sounds familiar. Man, evidently he must have been a great guy. Tim is mentioning him, and that's my father, to be exact. My father was a veteran, and he's still here. Giving my father his flowers. Hey, he did the Vietnam War, and he's still here. So I want to say his name. Thank you, William Johnson, for your service.
Be famous, or we'll make it infamous. Either way.
Exactly. That being said, we got some good content for you tonight. We got something that came all the way from Spain.
Yeah. Good time to have it too, right? They just won the World Cup.
Just won the World Cup. So we bringing you that new content right now. Something to help you celebrate Spain. We got a great bottle of some pretty hard to come by. And what this is a rum.
Yep.
A honey rum liquor. Think about that. Honey rum liquor.
Yeah, I think the name of it is called Artemi.
Yes.
So it should be an interesting little dram to try out. You know, I was expecting to have some sweet notes, obviously with the honey, right?
Yes.
But, you know, to stay true to its notes of rum.
Yes. Now, that being said, my oldest daughter brought it in to me and wanted me to share it out with you guys because she brought it all the way back from her 2-year deployment in Spain. She's a Navy. Shout out to her, Kenyana Latrice Anderson. And one thing about it is she do good. Well, and let me say something, because I want to add a little change. She is my next to the oldest daughter. My oldest daughter is Brittany Gibson. That's my oldest daughter. I own all my children. I own Slide, Don't Fade. That's my oldest daughter, Brittany Gibson.
The oldest son.
My second oldest daughter is Kenyatta Latrice, and my baby is Halea Johnson. So God has blessed me with 3 girls, and my son is Timothy L. Hedgepeth. So God has gave me 4 people to love on, 4 people to love me. And I want to share them with the world, but I want to share them the correct way. I tell my daughters they are queens. They ain't nobody Chambers made. And I tell my son he is a king. He ain't nobody's little hum crumpet puppet in the background. So I want them to live their best life, because I tell them all the time, be the best that you can be. Don't be trash.
Yeah, for sure. Live your best life, and when you have your own, your own kids,
exactly.
You gotta teach them the same way you've learned.
Exactly.
Avoid your mistakes, but let them make their own.
Exactly. Right? Exactly. And that's the thing about life. The reason why we here. There's a lot of challenges in life. There's a lot of ups and downs. It's 2026. When you look at the news, it's very depressing. Somebody, and I'm gonna be 100. Somebody's son is killing somebody's daughter because he wasn't taught better to be a king. He ended up being a bitch and taking a cowardly way out. We need to protect our women. We need to uplift our women, protect these queens, and save them from these cowards they bring into their lives who don't know how to handle rejection, who've been trashed. Don't you run the streets and you over there creeping with the side piece and the bottom babe till you get caught. Then I was gonna change. But anyway, that's a story from a different segment. But what we're gonna do now, we're gonna get into this bar.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let's celebrate Spain's.
Yes. Shout out to Spain, baby.
Should be interesting rum.
Yes. Give me some of that, my guy.
Got you.
Look, I'm all about Spain. I nothing against Argentina. I'm all about Spain. I'm glad. So this right here, look, nice little dark color to it.
So being Hispanic myself, I'll say one thing I always teach people. We are not Spanish.
No Spanish?
We are not Spanish. We're
No Spanish.
Hispanic.
Oh, he's Spanish.
Only Spanish people are from Spain.
Oh, he's Spanish from Spain. I speak a little English. I'm from Atlanta. By way of North Carolina.
Oh, man.
So what we got, my brother? What we got?
Oh, you can smell the sweetness right off the nose.
Okay, I'm not going to say what it smells. What do it smell like to you? I'm tell you what it smells like to me.
I still get a nice honey note right off the nose.
Yeah, I mean, you know what?
I do.
This right here reminds me of a Coke. And you can smell the honey.
Coke and Run.
Yes.
Like if you had the Tennessee honey,
yeah,
right? And Coke.
That part right there.
Yeah. Yeah, you can get it right off the nose.
Oh man, I'm trying to tell you. Let's get a taste, baby. Let's get a taste, see what we got. Oh, nice. Very, very, very smooth and light.
Yeah, it's super light. It tastes like
light.
candy. It's like they took honey and added rum to it. One drop at a time.
Yeah, like candy. Now this right here, I would say I would add a little ice to it because it's a little on the sweet side. But anything with honey in it, more natural. So I'm quite sure this might be a banger later on at night. Put your ass to sleep.
I mean, I think this is perfect for adding anything that's a little drier that you guys might want to add a little sweetness to, because this has it. It runs more like a liqueur, to be honest with you. Yes. It does like a rum. So maybe
definitely like that.
Maybe add another shot of something to kind of give it that oomph that you guys want.
Yes. If you want something a little bit more stronger, I would probably add something to it. But for you first-time drinkers and for you light drinkers, I think this would be perfect. Now, I can't tell you exactly where it came from. I can't tell you whether it came from the exchange or not, but I know it came from Spain, and it's something you just can't run up on in the States. My daughter bought a special bottle home when she came home from the Navy, and she wanted to share it with me, and I'm sharing it with you. So you get the first time, day one, from the Veterans Active Duty Bar.
Yeah, I mean, I'm reading the back of it, and it actually says liqueur, run honey, and it's run miel, which is, miel is Spanish for honey. So it's really straightforward. And what you get is exactly what it says. Exactly what you get: smooth honey taste, very crisp, very light, easy sipper.
Yes. So that's where we are today. I think, like I'm saying, this is definitely something I put on the shelf, sip on. I think it's a great taste. Just don't know how to get it, because, like I'm saying, if it came from
we
Spain,
don't know yet.
Well, you know what? That's true. Because things will always manifest themselves if you want it bad enough.
Yeah, just hit the guy.
Well, that being said, anyway, bringing to you guys today, I'm going to bring you one of my daughters who I'm very proud of, who has chosen to follow in her father's footsteps and become a member of the United States military. And she has been serving for quite a while now. And she decided right after high school that college is not for me right now. I want to go to the military. Daddy, what do you think? I said, hey, baby, make me proud. Serve our country. I said, see the world for free and live your best life, because it's going to give you everything you need. So she has been there for a while. She has been on a couple of deployments. My daughter has been lucky to come back to me just as she left, still here. So welcome to the stage, everybody. Kenyana Latrice Anderson, my big baby. Come on in, baby.
Hello.
All right, let's move this out the way. Let's get into it. So as you can see, we're a Veteran Active Duty Bar family. So this is my daughter here, Kenyana Latrice Anderson, and I'm gonna let Juan answer the first question because Daddy might be biased. Go ahead.
I'm just saying, she took all your looks. Now I can see why you look that way now. Look at you. So first question, right? So you finally decided to enter the military. Who's the first person you told? And then after you told your daddy, how did he take the news? Because we already heard his version, but let's hear your version.
So most likely, since you guys don't know, I joined the military in 2017, a year after his retirement. So how it came about, it was a high school decision. So it was either go to college or join the military. So both of my parents were informed. They both was on the same page in tracking. So it wasn't like a shocker or a surprise because I already informed them before I made the decision. I didn't join the military right after high school. It actually took me 2 years later, after graduating in 2015, to go ahead and execute my mission and go into the military.
So that being said, I'm gonna get back to Juan. She was planning in ROTC to make that transition. But then when she got up here to the A, she took a little time and before she made that move.
Now, I think that's a normal decision, right? A lot of, especially nowadays, where a lot of young people, before they hit even college, take a little break to themselves, want to know what next steps are going to look like, and then execute. So, nothing wrong with taking a little time for themselves, right? That's awesome.
Exactly. Now, I'm going to say this right quick and not to throw any stone at the Air Force. But when we went to the Air Force recruiter, of course, because everybody out there asking, why did your daughter join the Navy? Why did she join the Air Force? I'm going to tell you why. We went to see the recruiter and he made me feel ashamed because we welcome in everybody and we give everybody the story that you can be anything you want to be. Aim high, Air Force. But let me finish. I'm gonna give it to you. But once we went there, the recruiter was very disrespectful, and let me just be honest, pissed me off the way he talked to my child. He didn't give her what I would have gave her as a career advisor or somebody itself, or they did a slight recruiter duty because before I left Charleston, we was kind of hand in hand. But what he did was something I wouldn't have done. He shut her down, and you know what I told her? To hell with him. Let's go to the Navy. The Navy got all the best jobs. The Navy got all the best opportunities, and the Navy outsourced a lot of stuff from the Air Force. So most Air Force bases is a Navy base near it, because I came out of Charleston. The Navy hospital is the new hospital. A lot of the Air Force is like going downtown to the urgent care. So that being said, that was something that I was very ashamed of. Never been ashamed, but I was disappointed. Now, I'm going to let her tell you her version. Go ahead, baby.
So speaking of recruiters, right? So this is more of an insight for me to whoever watching this, right? So what he was talking about, I never got a chance to meet an Air Force recruiter. We talked over the phone, right? So I called, and then that's when the recruiter really didn't care too much, really have any engagement. So after that conversation, I hung up with him, and I remember calling my dad, gave to my dad for advice, and then my dad even reached out to that actual recruiter, and still the same. And my dad was pissed off about it. But the only recruiting office that was available in Duluth was the Navy. The Navy had people in office all times 24/7. So the thing about it was I met my recruiter, right? So I'm gonna give you the whole backstory for recruiting. For the Navy.
And you shout her name out. We're gonna give her her flowers for what she did.
So HT1 did a wonderful job. I'm about to have a brain fart because I haven't seen her so long. So I don't know if I should say her first name or should I say her last name. Last name. It gonna come back to me because I have a lot of last names I meet. So I'm just let you know that right now. But it's gonna come back to me. So she was introduced HT1 because that's how I know her rate. HT1 was introduced to me, and she was a very pleasing, very bubbly, outgoing person, had the perfect personality for being a recruiter. So where she wasn't just a recruiter, she was somebody that was given a very honest opinion before joining. So what I mean by that was when I first went to recruiter, she told me some guidance, but then she knew that I also wanted to do school at the same time. So what she recommended for me to do is come back 6 months later. So she said, I know this is what your dad wants you to do, but I want you to come back on your time and let me know what you want to do. So she said, I'm giving you 6 months. I will be here in 6 months. When you're ready, see me in 6 months. That was her word. It was Clark.
Yes.
It was Clark.
Yes.
See, he came back to me.
Salute. We have names here.
Salute to you.
She made sure that I was prepared and ready for this journey because it's not an easy journey. So like I always explain to anybody that's coming into the military now, since I'm still active duty, it's not a smooth journey. It's a little bit more challenging, a little bit more difficult, especially for people when you're picking up and moving at a young age, right? So I came back in 6 months. When I came back in 6 months, I studied for the ASVAB. But within those 6 months, I just didn't take that time off and just relax around the house. I was studying. I was not only studying, I was working out. I was getting myself physically prepared
3 times a day.
Yes,
PTing 3 times a day.
So if anybody want to know how to lose the weight and get down, even though, hey, I'm at a certain age now. So yes, I have picked up weight, but it's different. I still can go. I still got the physical ability.
Beautiful weight down, because I'm not mean to cut you off. When she went into the Navy, you would have thought she was on the stuff.
I was small.
She was so small. She was about the size of a rail. The wind blew, she probably went to the other side.
But that's because I worked out. So what I did was, I wasn't starving myself. I'm still eating, but I was watching what I eat, and I made sure that I took care of myself with more protein than carbs, right? So I was making sure my actual eating habits were under control. Then I also made sure that I worked out. Make sure I got 12,000 steps, not 10,000 steps, 12,000 steps. So that was a goal every day to meet on the Fitbit. Because who Fitbit I had on every day? His. So I was tracking, getting my steps in every day. So leading up to it, studying, working out, and working, because I was working at the same time as well, to get myself ready to make that transition. So when it actually came about, going to the extra service, I took the ASVAB, made a high score, and was able to
Very
pick my
high.
job.
Higher than my scores.
Only difference is my vision slowed me down from getting some job opportunities, but I still end up with a good job opportunity. But I'm gonna tell y'all a side note, right? So I'm gonna tell you a funny story. So when I went to MEPS, you would thought that they knew me, right? And the reason why, because soon I got there, they was like, "Hey, Miss Anderson, how you doing? Come on in here. Like we on the phone right now with the master sergeant and the not master sergeant, but master chief. We call it master chief. Master chief want to talk to you. Senior chief want to talk to you. Everybody want to talk to you." And I'm like, okay. I'm not paying really no mind. So as this is going about, I'm going to MEPS, doing my screening, doing everything I need to do, getting ready. So I end up coming back home. They gave me a date. He was shipped out. But before they gave me a date, before I left, they would ask me what job I want. I wanted HM. My boss, who I was working with, he was Dr. Sam. Shout out to Dr. Sam, because he was an HM in the Navy, my old boss. So I want to be an HM. But my MOS, because I can't say my rate, because a lot of people don't know that. A lot of people within the Air Force and the Army, they understand MOS, not rates. We in the Navy understand rates. So that means our job. So MOS, they were saying, hey, they was like, do you want to be 6Y, 4Y? And I said, 6Y, 4Y what? Because I'm thinking HM, they said, we only have you available for information system technician. You're going to be an IT. So I said, okay. I said, sign me up for 4Y. The reason why I said sign me up for 4Y, because 6 years, I don't know how I'm going to feel. Let me split my contract in half. Let me do it at my pace, right? So I did 4 years. But everybody in MEPS, you would have thought they knew me. And them people, but shout out to my recruiter, because back to what my recruiter asked me before I even went to MEPS. She said, what kind of job do you want? Do you want to be outside in the heat, or do you want to be an AC job sitting behind a desk? I said AC. So when I went up there, them people knew me. They saw my scores, their name. They said, we already have a job for you. I didn't have the option. Everybody else behind me, before me, everybody else had multiple jobs listed. I only had one, and that was IT. 4 years or 6 years.
Let me cut across it right quick. I want to cut across for one moment. She talked about her schools. Now, I've seen some AFAP schools in my time, and like I said, being career advisor, being / recruiter, and I looked over the stuff, and I've seen a lot of stuff, but this one right here blew stuff out the water. She was in the top 10% of almost a perfect score in all 4 categories.
I could have had any job, but
she was in the top 10%. So that right there is what I say, when you dedicate it, you put your mind to it, you can do it. So out there, for any of you young starters coming out here now, you got another year, come out of high school, or you are on your way out of high school, don't let nobody tell you what you can't do. You can do anything you put your mind to it. And you don't have to settle for the norm of what your parents did in the past or what they got going on now. Because as the parents, we want our children to excel, be better than us. Don't walk in my shoes, step ahead of me. Give it to them, Juan.
No, what people didn't really realize so much is the preparation that took to get where she is today, right? So it wasn't like, hey, I want to just do it. I'm going to prepare myself to do it. And a lot of youngsters don't do that. Again, just from a civilian point of view, you hire someone, they say, I'm going to be here every day, 9 o'clock. And what I always say, 9 o'clock ain't on time.
No.
But then they look at you weird when they walk in the door at 9:15.
Yes.
No, you prepare.
What an excuse.
Yeah, you prepare. And here you are, showing the ropes that youngsters exist, right? Where they know, I'm going to be here, I'm going to prepare, and I'm going to excel. And that's a beautiful thing.
Yes. Now continue.
Okay, so just like you guys know, right? So when you're hearing all the news and the different things that we got going on, especially with this administration, do not want to discourage you, right? So when you're now joining the Air Force, the Navy, the Army, I can only speak for Navy, right? So to have a score for the ASVAB, you need to at least have a 10 or a 13 to score, right? But the thing that I'm going to tell you guys is to keep on studying, keep on challenging yourself so you can have more job opportunities, right? So, and another thing that I always tell people, do not let the administration discourage you. Me and my dad had to have multiple conversations, right? Yes, they're going after people with beards. Sorry to bust people bubble, right? Yes, they are now making it seems now you can only have a waiver and it only can be within that year. After that, you need to be processed out. The military, especially the Navy at the moment, I can't speak for the Navy, but I can speak for what I see. This is my opinion, not the Navy's opinion, because I don't have it on, right? So this is what I want to explain to everybody. That right there is a harder and longer process because we need people due to the high tempo we got going on now. It's not the same as we could get people in and out. We already had our experience with COVID. We're not trying to experience that again. So what's going to happen is your commanding officer has the power and control to dictate how he wants his sailors to execute under him when it comes to the regulations, when it comes to the standards, it comes to everything. And the reason why I say that, because when you're underway, you're out at sea, your commander, your captain, whoever you have, is not focusing on the standards when it comes to grooming and hair regulations and all that other stuff. They're focusing on the safety of the crew and the safety of that ship. If you are an outstanding sailor and you do your job to a T, that's all he's concerned about. The reason why, because you guys got to make it back home safe. There are so many close calls, them Navy vessels getting disappeared off the screen. But that's because you have people in the right positions at the right place with leaders that trust them and allow them to do their job. That's how we don't have any incidents or bigger reports that we're doing right now. So do not get discouraged at what you're hearing. You see a lot of TikToks, mill talk, everybody want to get up there, get their opinion. Yes, but you also got to be mindful what you're putting out there because people are watching. I be want to post sometimes, but sometimes I don't.
See what I tell you.
The reason why I don't post is because you don't want nobody to use your video, what you said, against you, right? What I always tell my sailors, word of mouth travel, but that paperwork travels too. So what I mean by that is people can say what they want, but they can say whatever they want to you. But if I got look at your evals and I'm seeing EP, early promotion, I can't let word of mouth get in my ear because it's telling me you still meet your performance. You're telling me you still doing what you need to do, right? So another thing is it's about how you work and how you play. When it comes to me, everybody know I don't play fair. I bought my guns at you, but one thing about it, the evaluations, they mad. That's why I tell people, you don't know who I got behind me. That's why I don't post. That's why I do the things I do. Because somebody might try to give me trouble, but they can't give me trouble because I know higher people that's higher than whoever they got to go to. That's because the job I picked, the places that I went to, and the people that I work for, I still got a good relationship. That's all that matters when you get in. It's about network. It's actually about knowing who you know, because just because I'm at a command that's all the way in Japan don't mean I can't talk to an admiral all the way in California, even though he's in charge of a whole different group. But it's the fact that I work with them. That's the ability and the power that we have, right? Especially when you're prior enlisted and you work your way up. So I don't want to talk too much, but I'm going to rush it a little bit because I want to talk about this liquor. But what I mean by rush a little bit, I've been in 9 years, still continuing. Just letting you know, in case you want to ask. So I've been in plenty of places, the places that I've been to. My first station was Mayport, Florida. Love it. The best experience, I was on the amphib. I was on the LHD down in Mayport, Florida. Mind you, that LHD was also not only Navy, it was Navy and Marines. So there have been a lot of crazy things, a lot of crazy stories that I have. But I'm going to let the host ask me those questions if they want me to, right?
We don't know. So, we don't want no secrets that nobody going to get in trouble about.
They will get in trouble. My second duty station was Washington, D.C. I worked at Joint Andrews Air Force Base. I was Tier 1. So with that I worked directly under NSA. So I actually had the privilege to work on the behalf and represent the Navy when it came to a lot of things pertaining to KMI. In case you don't know KMI, I know KMI, and that's only for me to know if you don't know it. But if you know it, good.
If you know, you know.
That's it.
If you know, you know.
If you know, you know. If not, I'm not explaining it at all.
That part.
So I had the privilege to work there and meet the wonderful civilians. And a lot of people do not know when it comes to enlisted, civilians are the heartbeat to our job. Without the civilians, the GS-11s, the 12s, the 13s, and the 14s, and the 10s and the 9s, if it was not for them, I might say it in different orders, but if it was not for them, we would not get the equipment that we need to get at the station that we need to get on time. We would be able not to have the proper funds. The civilians are the heartbeat. A lot of people don't realize that they are the heartbeat behind our mission. Without the civilians, we don't have it. And what I mean by that, they make stuff shake. You might get on the phone now. I'm telling you that this is a little side note. Be careful when you call them people on their phone line, okay? Because because you talking to Mr. Timmy or you talking to Mr. Juan, be careful now because they can't cut you out. Don't call them with no attitude, with no bass in your throat, because they can't hang that phone up on you. And then what you gonna do? You can't report them. They high ranking. They can be like, I'm a 12. I work for myself. Who you gonna go? How you gonna get to the 13? How you gonna get to the 14? You gotta still go through me first. It's the same thing on our side.
Respect.
It's leadership. It's respect. So I always tell, like I had to tell the chief when I was in first class. I told that chief, I said, look, I can't have you getting on this phone bopping your guns. Because if I tell you to go talk to the SFD, you won't get cussed out. And don't look at me. And I told the chief that on the phone. You think I can? No, I didn't. I just let her know who you about to go against. These are civilians. These are not military. You can't talk to them any kind of way. You can't use your rank any kind of way because these people are working overtime. What I mean by overtime, they're not coming in doing those small 8 to 2. Some of them come in at 8 to about close to the building close. Sometimes the building close it could be 1,800, and that's 6.
Yes.
And
now, hold on, baby. Let me look.
Oh, now I don't open a can of worms. Now you want to talk about it.
Look, you want to open a can of worms. Now, look, we supposed to be interviewing you, and you just taking over the whole damn show.
Okay.
Like her daddy.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I was just going to say that part, but I'm going to let Juan give you another question.
No, before let's just recap, because, you said a lot of important things that I think, we've discussed on previous shows, right? We had a lot of Navy people come on here, and one of the challenges they say that the standards have changed.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But what we didn't know is why. And what she just alluded to, commanding officers' roles have changed. And their priorities are now different. So it explains a lot to our viewers now why people feel that way. So that's awesome, right? Now we have a better, clear understanding that, hey, we're about making sure safety first, the ship's afloat, and the mission status stays afloat, stays on target.
Yes.
So that's great to know. The second thing, right? Damn, there's a lot of preparation. Right? This girl put her work in, right? So so my question then leads to, because again, right, we've always had the older veterans here have the question of, can they cut the mustard?
Yes.
Now, you guys, I'm assuming share stories, right? Hey, how was it when you were there in basic training? What is the difference now, right? When he tells your story, do you think these veterans could have cut the mustard today in today's Navy? Ooh, good question.
That is a good question.
Because everything changed, right?
Everything's changing and still changing. So that's why I can't really answer that question head on, because my 9 years and his 30 years are two different things. And the reason why I'm saying this, because I've been 9 years, I went through boot camp, I was trained for war. The mentality now for people that's coming in service is not that anymore. I had to be softer as a leader. I had to understand how to talk to people.
Yes.
I have to really sit back and
it's like the NBA.
Yes.
Oh,
I can't cuss people out. I can't be too passionate when it comes to my job. I have to really kind of let my sailors talk, let them be themselves, and then I talk as a leader. That's my job. But
sensitivity.
But this is where we get it. Okay, so this is where we kind of get a little bit slightly confused at, right? Because as a leader, right, I can listen to my sailors, but my sailors still respect me
Mm-hmm.
to where I can be that forceful leader that they need, right? So, but how I am with my sailors, I don't cuss them out. I don't do anything. I treat my sailors as if they're my family, right? Because when we're out and about, they are my family. So I give them that respect and they give me that respect back, right? So the Navy is changing. I can only say to my experience, it's changing, right? So I'm gonna cover back a little bit on some of the things I talked about, right? Because we were talking about the commanding officers, right?
Right.
On my third station, that was Spain. I did a split tour, so I'm still taking on the on my third tour, right? But when I was in Spain, my CO had it where it was relaxed, no shave, hair down. I had a 6'2" female on my ship, GM1, hair down to her ankles, flowing. She had long hair. We used to call her Rapunzel. But she had long hair. And then I let my locks down. But that's because we had a CO that understands. He always tell us, underway, relax, standards, all the way across. He said, but I'm the CO. I can take it back if I need, if I want to. Not need to, if I want to. So that means if we're as a crew not doing what we're supposed to do, the CO could go back to the actual rules and regulations. But he made it flexible because he knew we out here, we're working hard. Let me allow y'all to be able to be yourself, right? So people had no shade, but guess what the rules were? Out at sea, relaxed standards. But when that ship about to pull in port, shave, hair up, you back to grooming standards. And a lot of us respected that, even all the way up leaderships, even the officer, everybody enjoyed it because it was allowing us to be able to be like, you know what? Okay, we can be ourselves. I can let my hair down. I can do what I need to do because it did not stop our work. We still got everything up and out, right? And I can't talk too much because we still in the environment that we in right now. I can't tell you what I did, but just know them Spain ships over there, they're forward deployed, 6th Fleet. We don't play. We are really about that. And really about that means a lot, okay? Because you need to be looking. If you ain't seen them Pentagon videos, then you behind a curveball. But if you seen them, you know what we doing. But over you, Mr. Juan. You probably got another question. I'm gonna cut you off.
No, you.
Yeah, cut off on.
Listen,
because she started to give up too much. We don't want to talk about your current service. Because
no.
We don't want nobody that
I'm not going to current. Listen, only reason why I gave you that input about the commanding officer because I'm no longer there, but I'm not going to let you know the ship name, and I'm not going to let you know who that commanding officer is because I don't need anyone to be able to go back and tell anyone anything. I'm not there anymore, so.
So guess what? Her daddy gonna make sure she good because I know how the military works. The thing about it is, some of the shit you say today will be glued to your ass tomorrow.
You know, it's so interesting to see the dynamics between the leadership structure and being a civilian and seeing, again, right, the dynamics of leadership. Because, again, when I was in retail and being a leader there, right, I was hard ass. Get things done. However, it is a lot of sensitivity now, a lot of HR calls, a lot of let's make sure we communicate effectively, right?
So this is not military anymore. This is just for just the world in general. Like when it comes to any corporate, any company that you're working for, any branch you're a part of. I feel like for us to be able to deal with these new rules and these new regulations, because rules is on his side and regulations on his side. That's how it is for us, right? But the thing is that if we're going to change our whole dynamic on how we respond and react, I feel like there should be more resources out for mental health. Because there been a study, I seen the chart, the Navy is higher than any other branch. I seen the chart.
Yes, that part.
But that's where we have to sit down as leaders and discuss how can we go about making sure that our sailors are meeting the actual requirements that they need for themselves, because we are getting a lot of people in service. And one thing I can tell you about service is good. If you need a green card, you can join. Don't be discouraged. You need to help your mom and your sister and your brother and everybody out, join the military. Don't be discouraged, because a lot of people join for many reasons. But sometimes those reasons, you set yourself up for success and get your family together. And I've seen a lot of people that literally tell me, I come from a third world country, I came from here, but for me to come into the Navy and have the wonderful experience that I had so far at one command and to rank up fast and actually have the experience to build a family within itself, that's the most beautiful thing they ever experienced. So, like I always tell people, that's a proper resource. Like, that's another thing as a leader that I'm happy to see and witness, that people are meeting the wickets that they set themselves up for. But another thing that it hurts me on the other back end is the fact that it's neglecting when it comes to the medical side, right? Because we either don't give them time, or medical don't have time, because there's so many people are injured, so many people are freaked out, so many people don't know what's going on, right? So that's just how I feel when it comes to leadership, right? We talk about they sensitive now. That's where I feel like they need to do more. Give out therapy for free for the civilian sides of the house, right? Stop having people paying for it, because it can get very expensive. Stop having people paying for to be able to just go get counseling just regular. It should be be like a volunteer option where you can go, be on site, have someone to talk to about it. That's how the military is. But the only thing about the military, you gotta set up appointment. You can't just go. You gotta set up appointment, and it could be months out, and you gotta let your leadership know in order for you to go. That's my only input.
I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Since most of the people that we talked to were veterans, she's active duty, how is it being on a ship with more men than women? How does that function?
So it functions normal, regular, right? There is drama, right? And I heard, because we just got rid of our all-men ship, only male ship. Correction, only men ship. And that was, I forgot what ship it was. It's a DDG, but it's stationed down in Mayport, I believe now. But it was all only male. Now they have women on board, right? And to some of them, they kind of don't like that now, because when you got women on board, it's drama. But then again, it's the new Navy. It's not old Navy, because when it's only males, you can have the old Navy in 2026. Y'all can go to fan room counseling, put your hands on somebody, beat them up, and you go about your business, right? But when you're bringing females on board, that's when you got to be introduced back to the new Navy. So that's when you got to be careful what you say. You can't be too sexual. You got to know how to conversate properly. You can't mess around with too many people. That's why I tell my sailors, you only got one wild card dealing with me on the vessel. Okay, in the meanwhile, I tell them one wild card, you can only date one person on this boat. You better choose wisely, because I ain't got time to keep hearing about who you dating, and then that person have an attitude with this person because they saw you talk to that person. We ain't got time for that. It's like high school when it's everybody on board.
Yes.
It's like high school again.
And I think that right there was one of the things that I never experienced with. That was before my time. But being in the Navy and being on a ship that's predominantly male, I'm quite sure it came with a lot of its own problems. And, in the Air Force, I remember when Desert Shield kicked off, Desert Storm, we had Air Force members that deployed female, and they came very, very kind of promiscuous a little bit. So that one female had about 6 or 7, 8 suitors running behind her, not saying what was going on, but had 6 or 7, 8 suitors running behind her. And it kind of ended up causing a lot of friction because, I can't really say that part. Really, I like it like that, because Desert Storm, Desert Shield, but Desert Storm really, not Desert Shield. Desert Storm, when you was actually out there in the soup, you didn't know whether you were going to be able to eat it or you was going to wear it.
So, sorry to cut you off, right? But this is a thing that we experience on big decks. And this is where when I'm talking about a carrier, 6,000 people, could be more, right? An amphib, 3,000 up to 3,000 people, right? That's including Marines and Navy, right? Marines can go on carriers. It depends on what mission or who need to go, right? But when we're talking about men and women, some people use their looks to their advantage, right? I see it on both sides of the house.
I use mine all the time.
I seen
some women. Is pretty too.
Some women use their looks to get what they want. and some guys go for it. And same thing with males. Males use what they want to get with some females to get, XYZ in exchange, right? Y'all know.
She said them bell bottom pants. I said that's 5 sizes too small.
No. People do things that they're not supposed to do because there are rules. We call it bedrock rules, right?
Mm-hmm.
People be forgetting about that. You're not supposed to be dealing with people on board vessels, but people still do. I mean,
say that again. I never knew that.
You never knew about the bedrock rules? You're not supposed to date somebody on the ship.
But he only had males.
So.
I'm just saying.
You're not supposed to, right? So, but everybody forget about the bedrock rule because they don't talk about bedrocks no more because it's so hard because we focus on fraternization. Well, that's what we're focusing on now.
Let me
now we're not focused on whoever if seamen and seamen dating each other. We're not focused on that.
Talking about seamen everywhere.
No, that's what they call them. But no.
So when you said fraternization, let me break that down to some people who don't know or people who do know.
Yeah.
So that's when you have an enlisted rank dealing with an officer rank in the chain.
Okay.
So that's what fraternization comes in because it lends to favors. Or not necessarily have to be an enlisted and an officer. It could be a lower ranking sailor and a subordinate that's high ranking that's in the same chain. So basically, I'm gonna let you get an extra donut at the chow hall if you come by the room later on tonight. That type fraternization.
Well, it depends, right? Because you can see it both ways. I mean, you can be deployed on a ship. What's the longest you can be deployed on a ship without docking?
Docking, we can go up from 190 days to more.
So think about that. So let's say almost a year.
Yeah, because
right?
Yep.
And you're gonna be celibate for all that time.
Man, them bare bottom pants.
Right. That are too tight for you to wear. And everybody can see your junk. Right? It's so tight. So.
But you can't. Okay. So listen. You can be single, you can stay strong and be faithful and do a lot of things on board the ships, right? But one thing that I can say is that it's challenging. Some people, I done seen it all. I done seen a girl get mad at me because one of the dudes she messing with liked me, but she was married. That was how it was. It was weird, right? So mind you, I ain't had nobody texting me, so I was cool. But that's the thing that we're seeing, right?
Woo.
So
that water,
that seawater.
You be surprised.
Let me say this though. How you gonna be mad at somebody that's single and you married over somebody that's single that you got your eye for? How you do that?
They don't like to share. But back to the fraternization, right? People don't like to share. But the reason why the Navy is focused on fraternization because fraternization opened up the doors for when we have SAPR, when it opens up to anything that needs to be reported to the JAG, right? Mm-hmm. So JAG, you don't want really nothing going because you got to think about, you got SAPR, Semio, you got DAPA, all these things are connected. And the reason why y'all be like, but DAPA ain't really that much, that's alcohol and stuff. But somebody can say that somebody been abusing them and being an alcoholic and all these things is the way they push it out because some of these programs are kind of slightly connected. So that's why the Navy said no fraternization, no, because people spin stories all the time. And when I tell you spin stories, spin them. And when I tell you it be scary, and the problem that we realize too, people want to come forward with these stories and they go quiet. Okay, I give y'all a little snippet. I had one of the girls on my last ship before I left. She reached out to her detailer. This is who you talk to get orders. Reached out to her detailer and said she do not feel safe on board the ship because somebody has been harassing her. Guess what the detailer did? Reach out to the Semio, reach out to the SAPR, reach out to whoever in the area pertaining to the sailor within the actual the area that we worked in, operated in, right? So they went back to the sailor like, hey, is there any statement, anything, Sailor was like, no. That's because people want to come forward, but then they step back because they're scared because they don't know who will hurt and how it will hurt them.
Yeah, consequences, the way the rules work, just like in real life, right? You work at your job, something happens, you open your mouth, Next thing you know, you can't feed your family, you can't feed your kids, right? Even if you're telling the truth, the opposite can also happen. You're lying, trying to get ahead, right? And then you get caught out there, and you're still in the same position. But it speaks to a lot of the challenges that exist that are symbiotic in both environments, and we look at the diversity that is required, right? And then again, right, as a leader, you never know when you're going to be a leader of men and women. Mm-hmm. So that's why they had to stop that whole ship, all male ship, because you never know when you're going to have females under your command, and because you never trained for it and never had the experience.
That's why I got my guy right here. You see what he just said? Say that again, Juan. Say that again.
Right. When you go and now become a new leader of men and women, you don't know how to act.
Exactly. Exactly. And in the military, it's supposed to be a melting pot. We don't supposed to be segregated, and we don't supposed to be you for you and only for me and nothing for you. We don't supposed to be that way. But if we don't be careful, sometimes we find ourselves in situations that we're not accustomed to. Now, she's active duty. So I know she gave a lot of material tonight for people interested in joining the military. And I know we are trying to give veterans their flowers, but she's a veteran and still active. So she's a military member. But I'm going to say this, and the reason why Juan is my co-host, because he's non-military, I'm military. It's a lot of things that I see one way, he sees something else. But the world now, you have to be able to go both ways. You can't just see straight down. The world say, it's black and white. There's no such thing as black and white anymore. No such thing as that. We got a lot of blurred lines, and you got to be able to navigate these blurred lines. If not, you're going to be in trouble real fast.
Yeah, I think the biggest challenge is there, right, is like he said, right, there's so many shades of gray that exist that we have to pay attention to. And we don't have to agree with them, but we should learn to understand why they exist, right? Because understanding leads to more compassion, right? And of course, like I said, less division and more uniting,
Yes. And I would say mental health, my daughter touched on one thing that I haven't touched on since we've been doing the Veteran Active Duty Bar, mental health. There's a lot of veterans out there that are suffering from mental health issues. Please, please, please go get the help you need. Talk to somebody. Don't suffer in silence. We all been through some things. And when we transition out, I kind of got that brainwashed story. Oh, you're a soldier. You don't supposed to complain. You don't supposed to be going to the hospital. That's for everybody else. You're a soldier. You better tough it up, man up, man up. And then when you leave the service and you try to go to the VA and say, this happened to me and that happened to me, nobody wants to hear that. Well, it's not in your military records. It's not there.
Oh, worse, you start manning up, but you're manning up to your wife. Yes. You're manning up to your kids, to your friends, and you're alienating everybody and you don't even know why.
Yes.
So that's why, as a leader, right? So I'm gonna just go ahead and hit all things on nail, right? So when you come into the Navy, there's a lot of wonderful things about the Navy, right? You get a chance to explore, you get the chance to travel, right? The job can be extremely hectic. I know a lot of people seen everything in the news when it came to the carrier, right? And they've been out 11 months. Hey, the 11 months has not always been that bad for them. The reason why I said 11 months have not always been bad for them, because guess what the Navy did? They invest and get with organizations. Prime example, the USO. They had a USO lounge where the sailors can find a way to decompress from work, play games. We have bingo underway. We have site TV where we can watch movies 24/7 underway. We have games. We have workout challenges. We have yoga. We have a lot of things that you guys are not, sometimes the civilian side of the house is not knowing about or informed, right? So let's go ahead and break that there, right? It's not just bad sitting out there in the ocean. We have fun. We have events. We have certain things that we do that we don't just, include with everyone else outside the actual vessel. It's just only within your command. That's all it is, right?
Right.
Another thing is when you come into the Navy, right? If you're hurting or something is wrong, please start going to medical. Start going and making sure everything's documented. But do not try to find any little bitty thing wrong with you just to go to medical. Do not do that because you're doing yourself a disservice. Because all medical want to keep doing.
Let me
No, hold on, wait.
Disservice. You said something that I want to highlight. I just want to say something just a little bit and not to go into detail. Disservice. And that's what I mean by honor and integrity. Don't fake injuries. Don't be that person. Don't fake injuries so you stack in the deck. So when you get out after you done been in a year and a half, I want my VA benefits. I want my VA benefits. That's trash. That's a disservice.
And a paper cut is not an injury.
Thank you. Continue.
But the reason why I said disservice, right? Because what medical going to do, the HMs are already working with a difficult schedule to anybody, right? You do not want to keep going to sick call every day. And guess what they're going to do? They're going to start just passing out aspirin. That's it. They're not going to really pay attention to you as much because they feel like, oh, you just come here, you just complaining. They regular sailors. They picking up, they listening, they're out and about. They're not the doctors. They're the regular sailors 24/7 that's on the vessel with you or out on station with you. They seeing things. So you can't be outside partying, you say your foot hurt, but they saw you at the club with heels on, or they said there, you say your knee was hurting, but you were dropping it low. You can't do certain things because we're out paying attention, right? So when I went to medical for my knee, I actually had knee pain. They ended up having to put me through physical therapy. He looked and did an ultrasound on my knees and saw fluid. Same thing, my wrist. This hurts. I done went to physical therapy for it, right? I think I dislocated my thumb because I actually landed wrong in one of the reports, had a wild night and landed wrong on my hand. So what happened, it hurt so bad. I went to medical was shot. I had to sleep like this, could not move my arm, could not sleep any kind of way. It was pain shooting up. So you can, like he said, it could be that now because it's my dominant hand. I use it a lot. So now I have to go back to physical therapy, get this actually scanned to make sure that whatever it is, how bad it is, I can get surgery. Because even on my TRICARE paperwork that just came in, surgery was recommended. So you don't want the knee to operate. You don't want the knee to operate. Don't want it to operate. And I'm scared because I ain't talked to another.
No branch of the service to cut you.
Listen, my sister had got this cut in a incident, and the Navy had did 2 surgeries on her fingers right here. These 2-3 fingers, and she's still feeling pain and she cannot move them. So guess what they're doing? They medically separating her, right? So she is getting discharged medical, right? Getting a medical discharge. So that's another thing. And she had 2 surgeries. My best friend Cookie had been passing out. The Navy could not understand. They did a actual open heart surgery on him. After the surgery, he still passed out. So he got medical separated. He is getting paid. They retired him. So he would be getting paid E5 paid. What he was, an E5 at the time, he would be getting E5 paid for the remainder of his life. He cannot really work. So when I tell you don't want the people to operate, you don't want the people to operate. So don't just keep going to complain because they will find a way to operate.
I'm going to say this because we done shot by our time for the night. And my daughter's giving y'all a whole lot of caveat. Some I haven't touched based on. But since she opened that door, I do it another segment. But I want to give my guy Juan, a chance to get those questions out that you guys want to hear. Give us one.
Not even questions, a lot of observations, right? She mentioned I got a lot of things that we struggle as Americans, right? And again, not trying to politicize our channel because I love what we do. With that being said, the way that we have to go bankrupt just to get medical care, I think is unacceptable.
Unacceptable.
We need to do better than that, right? We have everybody, whether you're rich or poor, needs to see a health specialist, a mental specialist, right? Because it drives a lot of the shootings that happen today. So, what she says is right. It's just not about seeing mental, but just taking care of your overall health.
Exactly.
And that should not bankrupt anybody or any American.
Yeah,
this country's too rich for that now.
We should definitely come up with a better system to take care of people. I'm not going to really speak about everybody. I'm going to speak for the veterans. The veterans, our service and our care that we receive is trash. I'm gonna call it out there for what it is. If you don't like it, you can come at me in the chat. But I have never really seen a veteran being getting some good service. Now I get some moderate service. Now let me say this. My VA doctor that I have, I've been with her for about 13 years. Very good. She knows me like a book. And one thing about, she listens to me. She not caters, but she takes care of me. She makes sure I'm good. If I go there and tell I have a problem with something, she investigated. She just don't go, well, I'll take this, and call me tomorrow. Because you know, a VA appointment will take you every bit of 3 months to see somebody. You be dead by that time frame, you know. And my guy Juan has really been touching base on a lot of things that, not saying that I alluded to it, but the thing about it is, that's why you have to have somebody that's neutral to see things that you can't see. Now, my daughter, she's active duty. She's seeing things on a totally different level that I don't see anymore because I'm retired. But the thing about it is, I want everybody to know this. We're here for you on Veterans Active Duty Bar. I want everybody to take the time out, subscribe to the channel, like the content, share it out on YouTube. Click on the link on YouTube. Even though it's streaming on Facebook and Instagram, go to YouTube, subscribe to the channel, like, share it out, because we here for you. Me and Juan, we're gonna be here all the way to the end of this year. So we're not going anywhere. So for those who maybe like or don't like or whatnot, I'm gonna say this: if you don't like, still share it out. So guess what? All publicity is good publicity. But we are really here for our veterans. We want to give them their flowers. We want you to be recognized. We want people like my daughter right here. Thank her for her service. Give me your hand. But anyway, I love my baby. Thank her for her service.
But only just say on a positive note, right? On a positive note, because we talk about a lot of things, and I know a lot of you guys hear about it. But let's end it on a positive note because we about to go. But real quick is the fact is that one thing about it, the good thing about it, do not let fear set you back. The reason why a lot of people don't join the military, a lot of people don't really understand the military, is because of fear. Fear holds you back. If I allowed fear to hold me back, I would never witness Spain. I could have found a way to get out of them orders. I could have probably injured myself to get out of them orders, right? But I did not let fear overtake me. So being away from families, being away from your environment, that's a good thing about the military. It allows you to go somewhere and start fresh and start new. That's a positive thing that a lot of people don't talk about. You can go somewhere, you get yourself established. I done went from apartment in DC, my first apartment in DC, loved it. Then went to a big house in Spain, loved it. So it gave me the opportunity to realize I could be a homeowner. I can now know the ins and outs, the issues I might have to deal with. It kind of opened up doors for me to understand a little bit differently. Financially too. My best advice to tell you, and for a lot of people that's still in, and a lot of people that's not in, pay yourself. Pay yourself. $250. Pull out. You get paid twice a month, or you get paid once a month. $250 is a lot. People don't understand. They be like, that's not much, that's not much, that's not much. It is much. Because by the time you keep adding it over the time of a year and invest into a trust. If you got Navy Federal app will help you open up a trust for 12 months. Utilize it. So I'm giving you all this knowledge because a lot of people don't. Because I got sailors that's now coming in, don't got no savings. But guess what? When I came in, I had savings because I had a leader tell me, you need to pay yourself. Because they're going to pay you, but you need to pay yourself. And that's what you need to do. Pay yourself. Travel. Do not be afraid to meet people. I have a family and I have a military family and I still have my friends, right? So it allows me to meet with other people, understand other people, and build a different bond relationship. Because some of you guys might need brothers. You will meet a brother. You see? You see how this is? It's the connection. You meet people. You might need a sister. You're going to find a sister. You might need somebody as a father figure. You're going to find a father figure. Somebody is there. That's the positive thing about being in the military. You always meet people. You always get mentors, and mentors is going to be there and sticking beside you throughout your career. So always do not let fear set you back. Go for it.
That part.
That's all.
That part.
I'm going to help wrap this up because she's a wealth of knowledge. So if you need her to come back, you have any questions, hit us up in the comments. We'll see if we can re-invite her, later on in the year. Maybe she'll be the last guest of the year.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
It's a big ask for any military person to come on, especially when they're active, right?
Yes.
So shout out to you. Thank you for coming on. It's not easy. And the last thing, again, get off the TikToks, get off the nonsense, because it's easier for people to complain than to say the things they like. Ask the questions, do your own research, right? And again, we're here. We have veteran, and you have someone who's active, help answer any additional questions you guys might have. For me, if I could play it back, would I try to go on? Hell yeah. I think it's, serving 2 years, serving 3 years, becoming a citizen, it hits home. You want to be able to defend where you're at. And not only that, give back.
Oh man, awesome. See, I'm gonna let that be the final word for the night, coming from my guy, because that's what I tell you. I love this guy right here because he gives great knowledge and he gives great power. If you don't want to know where your strong point is, knowledge is power.
Yeah.
So that being said, honey, you got a closing remark for the night?
Nope.
All right.
He said it all, and
Exactly.
I just had thankful. Thank you guys for allowing me to be on your channel.
All right.
I appreciate everyone. For my people that's active, I see y'all. Some people that's not active reserve, I see y'all soon as well.
All right. On that word, Juan,
Don't be trash.
live that best life. Everybody, good night.
This one's for my crew, my inner vibe. Exclusive moments where the spirits collide. You're the ones who ride through thick and thin. Spirit members, let the show begin. Spirit members, this time's for you. VIP love for the chosen few. Let's sip, let's vibe, it's your special space. Spirit members, welcome to the place.